Good day, everyone. My due respect to our panelists, Ma'am Christine Cobillo, Ma'am Catherine May Mante, Ma'am Cristina Hosol, Sir Ferwin Camargo, and of course, to the Dean of College of Teacher Education, Dr. May A. Ivardo. I am Cindy Bachincella, and I am with my co-researchers, Lawrence Julian Salubri and Gerlie Birangas. So for today's video, we will present to you the research proposal that I and my co-researchers have agreed on. So the title of our research proposal is Students' Approach to the Problems of Distance Learning and its Effect on their Academic Performance. Firstly, I will state our research rationale. Education is an important need and a tool for a bright future. The transition from face-to-face learning mode to distance learning mode is being implemented as the spread of the novel coronavirus is progressing rapidly and the education sector is being greatly affected. The problems of distance learning affects and complicates the students' learning and academic experiences. Students were challenged at times by frustrations, failures, losses, and conflicts while dealing with the new normal. Many recent studies have said that despite the promises and obvious advantages of distance learning, particularly online learning, some problems need to be resolved. Each of these affects the overall quality of distance learning as a product. Hence, the purpose of this study is to determine the approaches that the students use to cope with the problems of distance learning and how these affect their academic performance.
This theoretical framework explains the theories and legal basis that supports our study. We have here the self-determination theory, in which it represents a broad framework for the study of human motivation and personality. It also articulates a meta theory for framing motivational studies, which is a formal theory that defines intrinsic and varied extrinsic sources of motivation. Another is the theory of American independent that states about the distance education as a tool in driving students to become independent. And the legal basis, which is the Republic Act 10650 series of 2014, section 2, which states that in the statement, it noted that the country announces its policy to further expand and democratize access to high quality education through the promotion and application of open learning as a concept and the use of distance education as an appropriate and efficient way of learning. These theories and legal basis supports our study in a way that these theories also talks about distance learning and two of the approaches that we used in this study. And according to the American theory of independent or the American theory of independent study, Vladimir, a professor from the University of Wisconsin, considered the independence of the student as the essence of distance education. That's according to Keegan, 1986. This was reflected in Vladimir's preference to the term independent study for distance education at the college or university level. Moreover, Vladimir believed that the development of the student-teacher relationship was key to the success of distance learning. Next is the statement of the problem, where the study aims to determine the approaches that the students use in dealing with the challenges or the problems of distance learning and the effects of these approaches toward their academic performances. Specifically, this study seeks to answer these following questions. Number one, what is the availability and profile of the respondents in terms of availability? Okay, we have here resources like personal computers and smartphones. Then, internet access, Do they have excellent, fair, good, or poor access of the internet? And profile. So we have here age. Question number 2 asked about the student's academic performance in the implementation of distance learning. So our basis will be their grades in order to see the status of their academic performance. Question number 3 is the approaches, or all about the approaches. So we have here 5 approaches, which will be our basis, and this includes deep approach, surface approach, intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and achievement motivation. Then, question number 4 will ask about if there is a relationship between the student's academic performance and the approaches used by the students in dealing with the problems of distance learning. We will then find the connection of the two variables. Lastly, question number 5 is all about the recommendation that we can implement based on the data that was gathered in order to help the university, particularly the educational system, and enhance students' academic performance.
So next, let's proceed for the research methodology. Under with this is the research design, environment, and participants. So the researchers in this study make use of descriptive design. The locale of the study is at Bohol Island State University, Calapi campus at San Isidro, Calapi, Bohol. The respondents will be the students from the different programs of the different departments of Bohol Island State University, Calapi campus. As we all know, there are 3 different departments in BISO Calapi. First, we have the Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, B.Ed or the Bachelor of Elementary Education for Education Department. Next is for HAS or Health and Allied Sciences. We have Midwifery and Healthcare. And lastly is for the CITAS or College of Technology and Allied Sciences, which have under 4 different programs. First, we have the Food Technology, Fisheries, Electricity, and ICT. Next is research instrument or procedure. So we have to use this tool to gather the information that we need that we can use in our study. So a researcher made questionnaire will be used in gathering the data from the respondents, where it is divided into 2 sections. First, we have the section A. It will ask about the respondents' availability in terms of resources, what kind of gadgets they are using. It's either phone, laptop, computer, or anything that they can use during distance learning. And access, of course, the internet connection. For the section B, it will ask about the approaches that we propose that they're going to use in dealing with the problems of distance learning during the pandemic. So the researchers, of course, will ask permission and approval from the university administration, the dean of college of the teacher education, to allow us or to allow them to conduct the study online. So after getting the approval, the researchers will make survey or an online survey through Google Forms, asking their availability in terms of resources and access and approaches they used in dealing with the problems of distance learning. Of course, we are going to ask the random students of Bohol Island State University coming from the different programs and different departments. Then, the researchers will ask from the office of the registrar to get a copy of the grades of the respondents in all their courses from first semester for the academic year 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021. So at this moment in time, we are going to discuss about the statistical treatment that we use in our study. So the following data collection or the findings and result will be analyzed using the descriptive statistics listed below. So frequency counts and simple percentage will be used to describe the n variable distribution defined using the formulas. You can see P is equals F nx to 100. So where P stands for percentage, F for frequency,
N for number of cases. As we all know, the weighted mean was used to summarize according to students' approach, which is our mean, and its effect to the academic performance. As you can see in the formula on the screen, so where X weighted mean with underline in the above is the weighted mean, while the X alone is the academic performance, and N is for the number of responses. The formula that we use in our study is a multiple linear regression. It is performed to determine if there is a significant relationship between the student's approach or profile to the academic performance, which defined by the model as you can see on the screen, where Y stands for the student approach, alpha is the constant or intercept. For B1 is the slope, beta coefficient for X1. For the X1 is what we have is academic performance. And B2 is the slope of beta coefficient for X squared. So the X squared is the resources type of digital or gadget use. It was one of our variable. B3 is the slope beta coefficient for X3, which is our X3 is our internet connection or internet access. And for the B4 is the slope beta coefficient for X4, which is last variable is the age of the students. As you can see in the statement of the problem, the variables are stated there, and we also apply it in our formula. Therefore, we can just easily connect if there is a relationship between the student's approach to academic performance.